Story 1. My grandparents are losing thousands of dollars from scam calls on his home phone. How can I protect them? My grandpa keeps falling for the scam where someone claims to be his nephew, convinces him to add their phone number to his bank's financial advisor, and then steals his money. We've managed to stop this for the time being by working with the bank to use my dad's number's financial advisor instead and prevent my grandpa from changing it. But the same scammer keeps targeting my grandpa, and my grandpa keeps believing that he's his nephew, even though the fake name the scammer gives isn't the same as anyone in our family, and the scammer has an Indian accent. Our family isn't Indian. I'm desperately looking for a way to stop these scammers, but so far I've come up empty. On a cell phone, it would be a lot easier to block scam calls, but all the solutions I've found for home phones seem less than ideal. One solution I looked at is using a robocall screener that requires all callers to press before the call goes through. This works against robo-dialers, but the scammer already has my grandparents' number, so he'll just press. A second solution is to blacklist the scammer's number, but this won't work either because the scammer will just use a different number. The third, nuclear solution is to switch my grandparents to a VoIP phone that can either block or silence all numbers. Not on a whitelist, but I'm worried about safety issues like 911 callbacks. Has anyone found a way to protect elderly families from scam calls? Edit to answer some common questions in this thread. My dad has POA and is handling all of my grandpa's bills from now on. The scammers are calling on their home phone. My grandparents do not have an iPhone or even cell phones, and they aren't willing to get them. Any instructions about what to do or not to do are probably moot, since my grandpa will probably ignore them anyway. Story 2. My family and I received cryptic phone calls and voicemails. Don't know if it's a scam or I'm being sued. Received a call and let it go to voicemail this morning. It's from someone telling me, "This message is intended for my name. This is random name, contacting you in reference to a claim number. Since I was unable to reach you by phone, I was instructed to contact your employer, as it does seem like the best possible place for you. You do have a right to reach out to the office to handle this claim. However, once the claim is filed, you no longer have that option. The number to the office, and that's again in reference to a claim number of you have been notified by phone and will be located unless instructed otherwise." A few minutes later, my mom sends me a recording of a voicemail saying the same thing, but he mentions her by name and says, "This message is for me." It was the same dude who called me in the voicemail. Then my brother texts me saying some guy just called him, but he actually picked up. Apparently he said he was listed as an associate of mine and that I had a delivery. When I Google the number he left in the voicemail, it was different from the number he called from the U.S. Department of Commerce website pops up for enterprise services. I decided to call the number using 67, and it directs me to a recording of enterprise services. "Please hang on while we get someone on the line." I waited and talked to someone. I asked who this company does, and all she told me was, "They do the background legwork for companies." I asked to clarify what that actually means and told her I received a call regarding this number. She then asked me for my claim number. I just hung up on her. Is this a scam, or am I about to be sued? I defaulted on a couple of my debts, and 2 just went into collections, but nothing from enterprise services. Only thing I can find on collections related to that name is Enterprise Recovery, a commercial collection agency. Also in my voicemail, when repeating the claim number at the end, he starts reading some other numbers, but stops and says the first number instead. In my mom's voicemail, he does the exact same thing, but repeats the number again, and one of the numbers was wrong. Story 3. My boyfriend and I received weird voicemail calls from each other. Edit, it has since been revealed to me that it was my best friend playing a prank on us. Leaving this up anyways in case anyone else is trying to research something similar. Hey, so in the past week, this has happened to us twice. I was at a friend's house and was getting a call from my boyfriend who was on his way home from a day trip. When I answered it, just played his voicemail. I hung up thinking it was a glitch. Then it called again immediately after, and this time it was silence. I called my boyfriend back and he told me he hadn't called. When I checked the call history, I noted it actually came from his work phone, which he told me he had left at home and had no way of accessing it. I will note that because he has an Apple, his 2 numbers are linked, so he will often receive calls on both phones. When someone calls either number today, my boyfriend and I are both working from home. He shouted from the other room, "Why are you calling me?" So I picked up my phone and saw that I was not calling him, but I was receiving a call from his work phone. We looked at each other's phones and we were both getting calls from each other at the same time. My call was coming through on both of his phones due to the sync. When neither of us dialed, I missed the first call from his work phone and immediately got a second call, which was silent when I answered. He answered the call for me and it played my voicemail, just like he had the other day. What the hell is this? What is going on? I tried Googling it and found lots of people experiencing similar things, like normal spoofing, but I can't find anything that includes the voicemail aspect. And why were we getting called at the same time from each other? I will also note that I live in before Christ, and we have a massive problem going around with spam, fake calls. calls. Everyone I know is constantly getting calls which are dead when answered. I'm aware that they're part of scam culture to check for live lines and whatnot. Thanks in advance. Story 4. I need to know if this is a scam. Basically, a number showing caller ID rang me and said I'd been sleeping with her man. I need to know if this is a scam. Basically, a number showing caller ID rang me and said I had been sleeping with her man, my boyfriend. Yesterday, I got a call from a number that looked legitimate, a UK number that wasn't normally associated with call centers or scam callers. She started calling me a black cunt and saying that I had been sleeping with her man who's currently my boyfriend. She sounded drunk and high, older, whereas I am younger. I kept on asking her how she got my number, and she kept going, "Ask your man and ask him to unblock me." And then she kept making sex noises, which was seriously disturbing. My boyfriend's sister kept saying that it was a scam. This, I may be clutching at straws, coincides simultaneously with a couple of days ago where my boyfriend's sister's friends were saying that my boyfriend could do better than me. I don't know how they got my number and were able to link it to my name. They kept asking if my name was speaking. And is this me? I've been in this situation before, where I was close to my exams and someone has tried to ruin and deter my progress. My end-of-year exams that get me into university are 30 days away, and I am having trouble focusing. The person still keeps picking up the phone. She called with a caller ID, and if this was a sophisticated scammer, I don't think they would leave a trail. I told my sister and dad about what had happened, and they think my boyfriend's family's involved somehow. We are an interracial couple, and it's still early days. I think I could share this, but we've been together for 6-7 months, so it's still early days. I'm not sure if his family fully accepts me, but I am so sure but unsure at the same time that this is a scam. My boyfriend's sister said that she used to get calls like this all the time, and this is how scammers tap into your phone and steal money. First of all, my critical thinking skills are going through the roof, because how is that possible? How can scammers have access to my phone unless I give them access first? She told me to put my Instagram accounts private, which I was hesitant to do because I have a YouTube channel and I want to connect with viewers, but I still did it anyway because I care about the welfare of my boyfriend and I don't want to put him in danger. I don't think this was a scam, long story short, because how on earth did they get my number and link it to my social media account and name? My number isn't available on any of my social media accounts, by the way. Edit, the reason I picked up the phone in the first place was because my shower has been broken for a month, and I'm expecting a call from the shower company who are supposed to fix it.